In order to judge this case fairly, as I know you will, you must try to get inside the mind of the defendant, who was a victim of our legal system. A man who was sent to prison for rehabilitation so that he could come out a better person. But again, our system failed. You see, for while he was in jail, Elroy Nevins was gang raped by other inmates, brutalized, himself infected with HIV. As expert witnesses will testify, this seriously affected his mind and his attitude toward the authorities who had allowed this to happen to him and toward society in general. You must remember Elroy Nevins' complete lack of education and realize that HIV and AIDS are complex medical terms whose meaning he never fully understood until he was charged with attempted murder. On the night he attacked Detective Hughes, to which he's already confessed, he saw her only as one of the authority figures who had allowed this to happen to him, and his mind snapped under the tension of that memory. He had no idea that he was capable of infecting her with a deadly virus. As the prosecution contends, in point of fact, it seems almost certain that she wasn't infected with the deadly virus, since Detective Hughes has tested negative on 2 separate HIV tests and has been given a 98% certainty that she wasn't infected. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm certain that if you keep these facts in mind, you'll render a verdict of not guilty to the almost ludicrous charge of attempted murder. Thank you. Your first antibodies test showed negative results. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your records also indicate that you took another test, an experimental test, at University Hospital, a research facility outside Chicago specializing in AIDS research. Is that correct?
Yes.
And could you tell the court, please, what the results of that test were?
Negative.
Negative. To what degree of accuracy?
I'm told 98%.
98%. Well, given the results of both of those tests, wouldn't it be fair to assume that your second antibodies test will also be
Objection, Your Honor. Objection sustained.
Your Honor, may I answer that question? Until I take my second antibodies test, and I know that the result is negative, there is a 2% chance that the defendant has given me the HIV virus. Now, that 2% chance is a very real threat to my life, and although the odds are in my favor now, when Elroy Nevins raped me, he had no way of knowing that he wasn't passing the virus along to me.
No further questions, Your Honor. By your own admission, you left the defendant with Dr. Seltzer, so you have no idea what the doctor said to him.
That's true, but
Just a simple yes or no.
No.
On your prison visits to Elroy Nevins, did he ever tell you that he'd been raped by several other inmates?
Yes, but not until a long time after it had happened.
In your own words, could you please tell the court how Elroy came to tell you about it?
Well, I could see that something was really eating away at him, so I just kept pushing until finally he told me he'd been gang raped.
Did he also tell you that he spent several days in the infirmary following his ordeal?
Yeah, he did.
Did you sense that it was difficult for him to talk about?
He broke down when he told me about it.
So he was upset by the humiliation he had endured?
Well, who wouldn't be? He got really angry. He said he was going to get even with every single one of those
There's no need
guys.
to elaborate, Ms. Lanning. No further questions.
You may step down. Court will now recess until 3:30.
All right.
Mr. Clark, you wish to cross-examine?
No, Your Honor. No questions.
Doctor, you may step down.
Why didn't you question him? He's lying through his teeth.
Do you really think the jury's going to take your word over a respected doctor? Because if you do, you're certifiable.
This is Dan Regent, inviting you to join us again Monday for As the World Turns.